Okay.
Just both the phones on. Don't worry about stopping anyone. Anyone goes behind us, it's just happening.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Is
it on silent?
It should be. Because I've video recording, it should be silent already. No?
That's the
by the way, I want to share with you, I videoed like 1,400, 1,500 videos. We always had someone driving in front, a train go in the back,
Yeah.
a jet plane come over the top.
Yeah. Don't worry about any of
The
that.
universe will share time with us.
Yeah.
Just love the
Okay.
sharing.
Hit that button,
Thank it,
and it'll do it.
That's part of our universe.
Okay. And you said who was coming first?
Osiris and Archangel Michael's definitely here.
Okay. Great. Oh, look, we just got 2 beautiful dragonflies just flew by. Oh, wonderful. Yes, they are beautiful. The duckies are going to feel the love and just walk right down the center. Yeah, this one will get both of us. And that one is already filming. The one on the side? Okay.
Just sit on the purple chair. No, you sit on the green chair then. Okay. We need. Yeah, just that's. If you sit on that one, it'll jiggle. We're doing fine. If everyone.
Is everybody comfortable?
I want everyone to just think about loving me, meaning your me. Everyone think about loving me.
Okay. Should I begin? Good morning. We're here today with a special guest, and today happens to be June 1st, so happy June. And we are all at Contact in the Desert in Indian Wells, California. A big, big place every year. 10,000 people converge onto this location to be at Contact in the Desert for various reasons. And we are no exceptions. We are here as well to discover and also for cosmic disclosure. So as I would love to introduce to you one of my new best friends, and this is Drew Blue Thunder Man Banky. He is a sun dancer. He carries a sacred pipe. He's master of sacred plant medicine, a channel, disabled combat veteran, and sentient being first and foremost. So Drew today has guidance and wisdom, and again, cosmic disclosure. That is part of our program this morning that we are giving the universe. So let me go ahead and introduce Drew, and he will take over the show. Hi, Drew.
Thank you, Rhonda. Hello. Today, I come here to offer my body, my vocal cords, to the beings that I channel, and any new beings that come into this space. that has any information for the public today or anyone here. And this has been, part of my path is just to spreading the word and being, giving up a little bit of my time for this message to come through. It's like one of my greatest honors. So blessings to everyone, and I hope this can resonate in your heart space and hit your crystalline center or wherever it needs to hit in each and every one of you. I just pray that it helps you out, whether in some way, form, or fashion, whatever it is. That's my only goal. And if it can open you up to an understanding, great. Or if it can just make your day better, that's enough for me. So
Wonderful.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And I am Ronda Markworth. Sorry I did not introduce myself. But again, thank you so much for being here. And Drew, would you like to get into your state, or what would you like to do next?
Yeah, I just, so everybody that's here in this filming and everybody watching, just close your eyes for a second and just know that we're all light beings operating a physical manifestation right now. There is nothing but love and light, and there's nothing that can hurt you because of that. Like anything that you feel otherwise is only your perception. So we're all surrounded by light right now. We're doing sacred work. So just open this doorway to any beings that have a message for humanity that involves love and light, or anything for our higher good, or the human collective's higher good. I open the doors for any of those beings to come in now. Any other messages or anything, I don't welcome. I honor you, but I don't welcome. Because my understanding of the universe is all light and love. So that's the only message I will allow, and I agree to open myself up at this time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Alrighty, so does it take you a moment to get into trance?
Not really. I'm there.
You're there. Okay. Terrific. Hello and welcome. Who am I speaking with?
I am Osiris.
Good morning, Osiris. Here in our world, it's the morning, and it's bright, and it's a beautiful day. So welcome. I'm so glad that you can join us.
Blessings.
We are very grateful to have you here today. I understand that you have maybe some words you would like to say as we all listen.
Yeah, it's just understand, like my host has spoken about, just understand your center, understand your crystalline center. This is something that will be coming up very important in the days ahead, months ahead, in your future, as you would call it. This is a very real thing that's inside your physical manifestation, and your crystalline centers in your brain, your eyes, and throughout your body will become more and more apparent as science catches up to spirituality in the very near future. So keep that in mind. Keep your heart space in mind, and understand that you're all flowing with source energy at all times.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that information. I have worked on several questions. Would you be interested in taking a couple?
Absolutely.
All right, wonderful. The little things around here kind of like you, and all of your energy you're putting out. So, alrighty. So, I would love to ask you, if you don't mind, who are you? Who were you when you were physical, or if you were ever physical?
I was in a physical manifestation at the time of Egypt. My wife at the time was Isis, the Phoenix, and we come down from a star collective, a Palladian collective. At that time, we were sent here to help out with a period in time in humanity's history.
Okay. And I understood that you ruled Egypt for quite a long time, 2,300 years?
It was over 3,000 years.
Thank you. Sorry.
That I ruled, and it wasn't so much ruled. I was providing guidance of a higher intelligence for a moment in time that was needed. There was 9 of us that was there at that time. That all come down together from our collective to help out. And it was well known. We did not hide our identities. We did not hide our features. We manifested in the features from the collective at that time.
I see. Okay. So, I have seen a lot of, I don't know, I guess you could call them carvings in the stone. And though I haven't been to Egypt, I've seen some of those of beings that may not look exactly like us. Were those inscriptions of you and your collective?
They were, yes, myself and other people from my collective and also other collectives that were here at the time to help out.
Okay.
Understand at that time that we're speaking of, where I was here in your human timeline, there was things going on in the energetic field much like there is now. That's why we're back here. That's why we are here channeling more. That's why we're here speaking more. And that's why we are getting downloads and visiting in dreams and such. The entire collective of the collective source is running all this, and he's running all this through us. My presence is a simple manifestation that has grown over time of the human collective. And it stays alive through the human collective, through history. So we left signs. People we were with understood this consciousness a great deal more than what your time frame does now, the human collective does now. So they understood our consciousness more than you do at this current moment. So they left signs for the future selves to bring back this memory. And this was instructed to our consciousness at that time from the 9 collective that come down to help.
Okay. The other collective, are they as super beings as you are? I mean, we all are, but are they, as a collective, you all kind of do the same thing, or your jobs are, your duties are the same? Does anybody have specific roles, I guess is the question.
If you could picture a funnel, and at the end of its source, so we're at the bottom of the funnel, where right before you go back into source energy. So our messages all become the same. Our heart spaces become real close to the same, and without going into source. So that's why we're separated into collectives. So it's a little bit easier to understand. Understand that's all source when you break it all down.
Okay. And it all goes back to oneness then, really.
Yeah, so the messages will be very similar, phrased differently, but very similar, same intentions, and they all follow the cosmic laws. So that this is a law and a lesson that is not changed at all. It's constant. So that there's never a flux in these cosmic laws. So the messages stay the same. The higher densities you go and start to lose your physical cells, the messages become the same because you're closer to oneness. Right now you're experiencing extreme separateness, the illusion of extreme separateness. So when you go closer to oneness, your messages become the same, your intentions become the same, because the funnel is shrinking down.
Okay. Thank you. So you say our funnel is shrinking down. So what can we do to, can you elaborate on that? What can we do as human beings?
Love yourself and concentrate on every now moment. forget about what happened a minute ago because it's in the past. We cannot change anything what happened in the past. It's already happened.
Okay.
So there's no point to be there.
Okay.
Every now moment, every blink of an eye, enjoy that moment. Honor yourself for the times that you get upset and understand the next blink. You can change the whole course. It can be you can go from upset to being happy in a blink of an eye. Or it can last days, weeks, months, turns into depression and suicide, or you can put limitations on it. How much you're going to go into your past. Same thing is true of the future. Anything past every now moment, every blink of an eye, it's unknown. And the excitement of the human experience is not knowing. So we need to stop trying to concentrate on taking away the excitement of our lives and just see the excitement in our lives. Live from a good heart space and respect everything around you, honor everything around you, and just be. This is the thing that people need to concentrate on.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that Source is part of them. So if they want to honor and pray to something, pray to yourself. You're sacred.
Thank you. Because we are all Source. We come from Source, therefore we are Source.
Therefore you're all sacred.
And sacred. Thank you for that differentiation. And no harm meant on my part.
Mm-hmm. None taken.
Good. Alrighty. So, so really, I guess what it comes down to is love yourself and leave the crap behind. We don't need that in our lives.
Yes. The time of suffering is over. The karmic cloak has been lifted from your earth space. So anything from here on out is of your own design. It always has been. But any suffering that you do is of your own design. It is not from the universe. It is from your own personal mind and ego. Anytime we have a conversation and we have something that irritates us in another person, it's time to look at what irritates you and go inside yourself and find that in yourself and deal with it. Because we are a reflection. We're a reflection of both the good and the bad.
Okay. Thank you for that. We're going to edit this part out, and I would like you just to be where you are. You don't need to move. So my question is, are his mics too low? Is there a way we can move his mics up here? We'll edit this section out. I just want to make sure that they're all picking up. Can we?
His voice is really low.
It's really low. So can we put the mics up here?
I'm just hoping the mic.
And I'm just worried yeah. Okay, that'll help a lot, I think. Thank you so much.
Black flowers.
Okay. All right, well, thank you so much for that, and do truly appreciate it. I do have a couple more questions, if I may.
Yes.
So I was wondering, would you be able to let us know how the pyramids were built?
Yes. As I said before, the time that I ruled, I come down here with 9 of my brothers and sisters from our collective.
Okay.
We manifested in the physical manifestation. We carried a consciousness that was much higher than those on this planet at that time. When we come into third dimensional space and manifest, we carry this consciousness inside our bodies. That, in turn, was part of the collective at that point. So the collective consciousness raised to exponential extent very quickly. Mind control and using energy to move objects, because people begin to master that. I myself, or none of my collective, moved anything to build anything on this planet. We simply instructed others to and showed them the way, and that's one of the reasons why we were here.
Okay.
So the pyramids were built from top to bottom, from the point at the top down to the ground, and they were stacked using the power of a collective that was the collective of the builders that were there in prayer.
So the huge, heavy stones that are on the 3 pyramids that we know in Giza, they started from the top, and they were, I mean, were they cut by your mind and then moved by your mind in position?
Yes, all the work was done with mind, and it was a design that the human collective that was here on Earth that we were helping, they designed it, and they designed it for specific reasons for sound healing, energy transfer, and tombs, many things. Basically very sacred sites the pyramids were, and they were of a consciousness that is past the third dimensional space that humanity is operating in at this time.
Okay. And you said were sacred, so they are no longer sacred?
Everything is sacred.
Okay. Thank you. I had heard, so everybody who were building the pyramids, human beings had that ability to move rock and stone and place it where they needed to go. That ability has been lost. Why?
Because your egos have taken over. The cosmic law of free will for your manifestation. Your egos have work off of free will. Your egos work off of free will. So your egos have taken over, and ended up your industrial complex, the imbalance in masculine energy, the divine masculine at this time in your space, has covered it up. Has covered up your more intuitive side. So you've constructed words to explain the unexplainable that don't make any sense to us and have no value. Deja vu, coincidence are all man-made words, nothing more, nothing less. Coincidence is meant to describe something that's unexplainable, so we can just shrug our shoulders and say it's a coincidence. But if we go with the understanding that everything happens for a reason, everything comes from source, there is no coincidence. So it all has a reason.
Okay. So
You understand?
I do absolutely understand. I do. I had heard, so when I was a child, I had heard that my father told me a story, actually, that there was an individual who lived, I think it was in Florida, human, of course, and he had this ability. I don't know who he was or that kind of thing, but are there still any human beings on Earth who have manifested that ability?
Well, your question is a tricky question to answer because the ability is not manifested. The ability is there.
Okay.
The blockage is manifested from your ego to protect your physical self because your ego runs your physical self. So to do that, it has to keep control. It has to keep you in fear of death. It has to keep you in fear of pain. It has to keep you in fear of being too far away from food or water. These are the ways our egos control us. And it'll go to any extent it needs to do that. So to cover up your intuition, to cover up your spirit side, like I just mentioned, it covers it up with excuses that are invalid.
I see. So because our ego is in the way, there are no human beings who have this, ability right now.
No, your answer is just the opposite. The answer is just the opposite. All human beings have this ability. The only thing that blocks it is your own mind.
Okay.
Saying that it's not possible. And so science fiction movies, we watch science fiction movies, but by definition, if someone has made this movie, they have manifested it.
Right.
It is a reality.
Okay.
So there is no such thing as nonfiction.
Okay. Thank you.
There is no such thing as fiction.
Fiction.
Excuse me.
Thank you. I'm wondering, if I may be so bold, how did you die? How did you pass away?
My brother killed me.
Okay, and why did that happen? Was that Horus, if I may ask?
Yes.
Okay, why?
He killed me to show the world a lesson in duality, and he knew, as I said, nothing happens, nothing is a mistake, everything happens for a reason. So this was actually a construct of the nine collective that was here, helping out the human collective for history. Because our physical selves, as we understood then and as we understand now, are simply a vehicle. So my physical death was only to show a lesson for humanity and for humanity to remember in the future. And it also happened for my host that I set in now for his story.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, so the story of Adam and Eve, is that a human legend that was passed down, or is that taken from another ET culture?
So anytime anything ever gets mentioned, it becomes a reality. It exists in a dimensional space. So the moment anyone mentioned Adam and Eve, that storyline become a reality in a dimensional space. So by definition, even saying Adam and Eve, even if it was the first time saying it, you would just manifest a storyline of Adam and Eve.
Okay.
You have to understand that nothing in the physical is really happening. It's an energetic signature that you're seeing in a manifestation, because you're in a lower vibration than where the energy is actually coming from. So it's coming through as a dense material or a human being that can live and die, or anything you can touch, feel with your 5 known senses. But so this is your manifestation. Your manifestation comes from you. You see it. It goes into your mind, and in turn, immediately is manifested into reality. So it is a loop that is really no loop. It's just an energy field that's there at all times.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much. So again, this is probably going through the same line of questioning. Zeus and Aphrodite, they are what we call now Greek mythology. Were they real, and who were they?
Yes. Zeus.
They were physical.
Zeus was, at the time, the representation for God, the sun. So there's just compartments. Zeus, Aphrodite's was just another way to say masculine and feminine. There's different labels, much like there's so many different labels for the same thing throughout history. This was just another instance of that.
Okay, so you're referring to Zeus and Aphrodite as the same perhaps as Adam and Eve?
Correct.
Ah, okay. Okay. Very interesting. Alrighty. The Aborigines, I ask this tentatively, they were the first true humans on Earth, or Native Americans? Where did life begin on Earth?
In the center.
Okay, well, that's a good...
The center of the planet.
Okay, and that was going to be another question I had. Is there life in the center of the Earth?
Yes. That's
Okay.
where all life comes from. That's where it started at.
I see.
The crystalline center we have, the Earth has it as well. We are a microcosm of the Earth. We're a microcosm of Source. And beings that are smaller than us in this third dimensional space are microcosms of us. And in turn, microcosms of Source. In terms of microcosms of the universe. in terms of microcosms of the planets. Everything is a microcosm of Source, all designed by one design.
Okay. So a being in the center of the earth, I know time doesn't exist, I understand that, but in this realm it does. So if we were to say that millions of years ago, the beings in the center of the earth created other beings, were they able to send them, they manifested them up on top of the earth instead of with them in the earth? Is that correct?
The manifestation comes from each individual particle. So the minute, just as I mentioned before, if we were to forget about Adam and Eve,
Okay.
and if Rhonda last night, while she was sleeping last night, had this dream about Adam and Eve and put together this story and mentioned Adam and Eve, not even mention it, just the dream. Once that thought process gets processed through the particle source that Rhonda is,
Okay.
it becomes a manifestation.
And that's what starts everything.
Yes.
Okay.
So we are a particle source. We are source. Each and every one of us. The rules that has been talked about in religion for so long, that your people have been telling you is sacrilegious to take on the word to take on the identity of God. What do you think that was designed for? That was designed to keep you inside the church, inside a building where you could be controlled, where one person knew what he was talking about and everybody else listened. You understand, all the answers are inside of you.
Right.
You have made all this. You've made your reality.
Right.
When you were growing up, maybe consciously or subconsciously, this was your dream to do this. What you're doing right this very moment. And the next moment, and the next moment.
Mm-hmm.
So your reality is a manifestation of yourself.
Understood. And here I thought I was just going with the flow.
Well, you are. We all are. We're going with the cosmic flow from Source, that when we surrender to the cosmic flow, these things start to happen.
Okay. And they absolutely have been happening in my world, which is wonderful, and I'm grateful for all of them.
This is Osiris. I would like to say blessings and good day.
Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Archangel Michael.
Hello, Archangel Michael. Thank you so very much for coming. We appreciate your presence and being with all of us today. Thank you.
Blessings.
So,
An honor to be here. Thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you for everything you do.
thank
Each
you.
and every one of you. There's people that listen, that hear my voice and hear this vibrational resonance that comes from this voice box, these vocal cords. Close your eyes and listen to my voice. Understand that this is Archangel Michael, the consciousness of Archangel Michael coming through, blessing you, sending my love and appreciation for each and every one of you. And understand that I'm there with each and every one of you. The idea that you have this master, that master, is false. We are all with you each and every moment. All the angels, all the ascended masters are within each and every one of you to give you guidance and protection. When you say you have totems, or have masters, or I have this archangel, this archangel, you're putting limitations on yourself by saying that. You are manifesting that you only have these masters. Understand they're all there, and use us. We are here to help you. We are here to help you through this evolutional process. Because we love you.
Thank you very much for the blessings for all of us, because we truly do need that. I have a couple questions for you, if you'd like.
Of course.
For me personally, I have this for you. So I actually, normally I speak with you generally every day or every night, one of the two. And, you know, I've never seen you. Is there a reason why?
Because I do not have a physical form.
But you wouldn't appear to me with light? As light,
I will
or?
appear to you however you need to be.
I see.
Whatever I need to appear as you. So the reason I appear to you in this way, I'm trying to build your faith. I'm trying to build your faith so I can become stronger, so I can help you more.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Thank you. Yeah, it does. Okay, so I have a little bit of a complicated question, at least in my mind, it's a tad bit. So if every event is perfect, why did you fight Archangel Lucifer?
I fought in the form of an energetic battle that I'm always fighting. I'm still fighting to this day. I ask for pure light and love because that's my heart resonance. Lucifer is just another way to say dark. If you're saying white and dark, the duality.
Right.
So understand, Lucifer, however he was manifested the moment someone spoke those words, and he's gained power because that L word keeps getting said. So if we stop saying it, if we stop recognizing it, it will lose its power.
Okay. But is that not his place? Is that not his role to carry that on?
Yes. His role, that was the duality of the third dimensional space.
Okay.
Now we're about to lose that duality lesson because it is a lesson of a lower density.
Gotcha.
The higher density you go into, you lose that. You've been through, each and every one of you have been through so many lessons in duality. You go through every single blink of an eye is a lesson in duality. So you go through these things, and you've learned these lessons. You've had every single experience that could possibly had through duality. And they're coming quickly now because
Yes.
the third dimensional space is closing.
Yes.
So you have to go through all the rest of them that Source needs to experience through his particles. So that's why they're speeding up. That's why the beautiful ones are speeding up. That's why the bad ones are speeding up. That's why they're going to get harder and harder until they're a part of your cellular level, and then you'll be true light beings. Then you'll understand of your true light being self.
Okay. So how does he feel about that? Will he just move on as we go fourth dimension?
No, time is not happening. Time is of an illusion, at least linear time.
Okay.
The time that we all operate in is very non-linear. So there is no start, stop of anything. Lucifer will remain in a third dimensional space, much as the masculine and the feminine will remain in the third dimensional space, much as Osiris and Isis will remain in a third dimensional space.
I see.
White and black. In the third dimensional space, to learn lessons in duality, you have to have darkness to understand there's light.
Right.
And vice versa. Of a higher dimensional, of a higher frequency, of a higher vibration, that is not needed to understand anymore.
Okay. So we're all moving on, and what we don't need will be left.
Yes.
Okay.
And the ones that don't come to this understanding, they will restart the cycle and go back and remain with the lessons of duality between light and dark, God and Lucifer, good and bad, love and hate, all those things.
Okay.
They will go back and go through those experiences again.
Okay. Until
they learn the lessons that they need to learn to go through ascension.
I see. All right. Thank you. So I happen to know of Archangels Michael and Archangel Metatron in the flesh now. And I was wondering, how is that significant in my life, and what will that role look like later?
Your role is part of your story, and I really cannot answer that.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. How many archangels are there?
It's hard for me to answer this because there's so many different understandings. So one set understanding could say 9, one understanding could say 16, one could say 8. The collective does not have a set number that they can agree on.
Okay, all right. And I have kind of an interesting question that was given to me
To explain,
go ahead.
Your human collective has not made a collective decision on how many there are.
Ah, okay. So we haven't determined in one breath there are exactly 9, or there are exactly whatever.
Exactly.
Ah.
So I could say, anybody could say right now that there's 100,000 archangels. So now there's 1 archangel, there's 8 archangel, there's 9, 16. We can go through all the different deities, and if no one ever said there was a million, the moment that it gets said there's a million, now there's a million.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so
understood.
The collective has not come to a point of oneness to decide on it.
Okay.
So understand that just the idea of archangel, just the idea of anything, is individual. It could change from one person to another, and much like there's over 7.8 billion human souls on this walking this earth at this moment.
Okay.
There could be 7.8 billion or trillion, whatever the number of souls are walking on here. It's changing every single moment. People are dying and being reborn. But there could literally be that many different answers for your question.
I understand. Okay. I have 2 more questions I would like to get before you leave us. I know your time is precious, and I do...
I have no time. I am here because I am honored. I look for open doors, and I speak when it's available for me to speak.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So my next question is kind of a fun one. I hope you take it that way. So I was asked to ask you if the angels appreciate a good sex joke.
It's of a lower vibration that is not of our resonance. We can appreciate all experiences.
Okay. Great. Thank you. And before you depart from us, I would love to get the questions that I should ask the next being who will enter. Do you have any of those for me?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so for the next being who will be coming in with us, do you have questions that we should ask them?
No, all the answers to all the questions you're asking right now are inside yourself.
Gotcha. Okay. Not a problem.
My mission is to empower you. My mission is not to hold your hand and walk you through the woods. My mission is to show you that you can walk through the woods by yourself because you're of light. That's any moment.
Okay.
Don't give your power away, my dear.
Thank you. All right. All right. And so for some reason, I've happened to notice this, and a lot of people around me too. I used to find pennies and white feathers a lot. And not just myself, but I've noticed a lot of individuals just walking around, like they don't either see them or they're not picking them up. Is there a reason that they're not as prevalent anymore?
It's become a superstition. This Humanity Collective has decided that this is a superstition,
Okay.
a large known fact. This superstition is another word that was made up to explain, to cover us up, to cover up the energetic side of yourselves that you are unknowingly covering with your ego mind, your monkey mind, your physical mind.
Okay. So those are just trinkets. They don't mean anything.
They mean, you know what they mean. You go with your first intuition. You go with your first intuition before someone tells you that something is wrong. This is the only thing that makes anything wrong is someone telling you that's wrong. Let me explain. As a child, maybe not you, but someone's listening to this, many that's listening to this, walked up and touched a hot pot on the stove, and you didn't get burned. But the moment one of your parents or one of your caretakers saw that happen, don't touch that, that's hot. That's a hot pot, that's a hot stove. It'll burn you. Next time you touch the hot pot and stove, it will burn you. Because that thought was never injected into you, so it didn't exist. This is how deep your illusion has taken you, getting away from that. Okay. And that same example holds true with anything. Gotcha. Okay. So if I believe that the pennies are from heaven and the feathers also came from angels, then that is true. Yes. If I believe it, then that makes it true. Yes. Okay. So you have a phrase in your collective humanity has made. It says you have to see it to believe it. It's exactly the exact opposite. You have to believe it to see it. Huh. Because it's of your manifestation. Okay. It's easier said than done, but this is the truth. Okay. Thank you. Really appreciate that. So we are the creators. We develop what we have and what we see and what we know. Yes. If you understand that you're a particle of source and you truly believe that, and you know that source is the energy that drives the universe and creates, then why would you not have those abilities as well? Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's see. I'm kind of looking around for a couple more things here. Let's see. Oh, is there hierarchy in the angels or the archangels? No, the hierarchy is of your third dimensional space. It does not exist past your dimensional space. It is a lower vibration ideal. Okay. There is no hierarchy. Because you all don't have egos. No, because we have an understanding of oneness that you will gain soon when you break out of your third dimensional space. So once you have an understanding of oneness, how can there be a hierarchy of another piece of myself? Gotcha. And how are we doing breaking out of our third dimensional self, going up to fourth? How are we? Perfect. We are where we're supposed to be right now. Regardless, it does not matter, yes. Gotcha. Okay. Anything other than perfection is of your own design, is of your own ego, is of your own mind. Okay. So a couple more things. First of all, and I meant to also tell Osiris as well, but thank you so much for the gifts that you both, bring to us, and your offerings and your benevolence. And I understand that you don't feel anything differently, but we are all one, and your knowledge and everything that you've given us is truly a blessing, and we do thank you for that. The wind's picking up just a little bit. So Cyrus? Yes, Osiris. I would like to explain that we are all here. We are honored to be here. Every single one of us, we are all here at this moment. We're all here every moment. So we're all here at this moment as well. So your speaking is for yourself. I hear you. I hear your thoughts. We all hear your thoughts. We're all compartmental manifestation designs of Source. So you speak to yourself. You think. Just the thought goes out, whether it's shared or not verbally. We hear this. We are not separated by words. We appreciate your intention and gratitude, and we relay our undying gratitude and honor for you and your existence, your struggle in the third dimensional space, each and every one of you. We understand it's not hard. We understand it is hard. I experience the third dimensional space, and I understand what you are going through. And I understand it is hard, but understand that you also have to understand that we support you. We love you, and we're here to help guide you through this. We're here, and we're very honored at this time to be able to speak more, to have more channels like the host that's setting before you. There are several others. The reason we speak through Drew and we speak through several others is because of their heart space, their ego space, and their desire to serve. Their desire to serve goes to a level of giving up their time and surrendering their space so we may use their body in this space to speak. We have to speak now verbally because of the blankets and the clouds have got so thick over your intuitive sense, your spirit self. So we come down and we have to communicate in these ways. Because time is precious at this point. We are right on the edge of evolution. And this evolution is not just humanity's evolution. This evolution affects the collective of the collective. So the collective of all collective, Source, it affects Source, him, her, it, whatever you choose to acknowledge it as. It affects that energy, and it affects everything that's connected to that energy. Understand, you're not the only dimensional space that's going through an ascension process. When you're going through an ascension process, those that are in fourth dimensional space are moving to fifth dimensional space. Those that are in fifth dimensional space are moving to sixth dimensional space. So on and so forth to dimensional space as far as has ever been mentioned. So when there's one ascension going on, all the dimensional spaces are moving forward.
I see. Okay.
And we're constantly moving forward. So you're not operating in a third dimensional space. You're always operating in a third dimensional space, moving into fourth, or you're operating in a fourth dimensional space, moving into fifth. There is no I'm in a fourth dimensional space because you are constantly moving forward. What are your bodies made out of? Your bodies are made out of water. What does the water do? It flows. It keeps moving. It may stay stagnant, but it will continue to flow. So by definition of your physical manifestation, even if those viewers at home cannot reach the understanding of energy, I'm showing you clear evidence of yourself that cannot be denied. You are mostly water. Look at water, how it operates, how it moves. Take lessons from the water. Move forward. This is of your intuitive design, of your source energy that's moving forward. You're moving forward, always.
Okay.
Never stops. Never has stopped and never will.
So what's happening on Earth from going from the third to the fourth, this has happened, you've said this has happened many, many times because of the progression, third to fourth, fourth to fifth, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay, so is this the first, this has happened many times on Earth with different cultures, different ancient ones. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so if it's happened so many times in the past, And I understand, I've been told from different beings that we are, everybody is watching us. Why is that so, if this has happened so many times?
What my host described to you yesterday in conversation. The space. So all beings are particles of source.
Yes.
Everything is a particle of source. So we're moving forward and we're going through experiences. One of the experiences that was yet to happen was an evolution, ascension, whatever label you like to put on it, was an evolutionary process to happen within a lifetime. So beings would start off in one-dimensional space and end up in another. This was of a design so Source could have 7.8 trillion experiences of what it felt like from go to being born in a third-dimensional space and passing away or moving on to another dimensional space from fourth density. So this was the first time in history this has ever happened. And it was of a design because Source is reaching a point of having all the experiences that he set out to have, which was every single experience possible.
Ah, okay. All right. Thank you.
Most of the time this has happened with complete extinction and then a reset.
And is that the ultimate, that eventually we will be so high up the dimensional ladder that we will become light beings, and then a new culture, a new race, or a new humanoid, or whatever it is you want to call it, will begin again? Is that generally the process?
Yes, it's a continual loop.
Okay.
So to dissect your question a little bit, you stated that we will move into being a light being. Understand that you all can hold the title of being a light being at this very moment. You have been from the start, you always have been, and always will be. You just have to understand that you are. Look in the mirror and say, I'm a light being and always have been.
Okay.
This is what you are. This is the truth.
Huh.
The lie is that you have to wait to become a light being. And it's the collective consciousness that is feeding this lie, that is controlled by powers to be, that control your third dimensional space, that use this understanding against yourself. This is so the government and your corporate structure of the world is a microcosm of your ego. So everything that you see happening in the world, war, hate, bigotry, love, peace, this is a macrocosm of the collective intention at this moment.
Okay. Well, so what actions can we take to get to the next level quicker? Is there anything?
Simply love yourself. Honor others as yourself.
Okay. It's that simple?
It's that simple. There's nothing more to say on it.
Okay.
Stop the understanding that you have to protect the earth. Understand that one human manifestation in the physical will not do anything without any intention involved behind it. One human manifestation with the pure intention and pure understanding of oneness that relays his intention, his or her intention, to your Mother Earth, that is more powerful than any activist movement or any protest of millions that could be had without intention.
Okay.
The intention is the power. You are the power. You are the power that will heal. You are the power that will heal yourself. You are the power that will heal the collective. Listening to these words and trying to understand these words and grasp them, not just understand them, but let them sink into your cellular level This is how we heal. This is how we heal the collective, because you are part of the collective, so heal yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't focus on healing the collective when there's skeletons in your closet.
Mm-hmm. So us first, and then we can move on and help others.
Yes, you can help others while you're helping yourself, and just remain a balance.
I see. Okay. And obviously that that's completely opposite of what we are taught here. It's, help others, care for others, and you don't have to care about yourself as much. Like that's
Let me explain the truth.
ingrained.
Let me explain the truth in this way to you, Rhonda. The truth is, if Drew is sitting in front of you and he's only operating at 70%, he says, okay, Rhonda, it's Saturday. We have set this ayahuasca ceremony for this time. It's time for us to sit down and do this. But I'm going through a lot of stuff, and I'm only about 70%. Would you sit down with Drew at that point and do ayahuasca ceremony? Or would you rather say, let's just wait until you're 100% and then we can do the ceremony?
I'd probably wait for the 100% from what I've learned about it.
Okay, every single action, if you're not 100%, you're actually doing damage to the ones that you're hurting.
Ah, okay.
Give them 100%.
Right.
I deserve 100% of Rhonda, and you deserve 100% of Drew,
Mm-hmm.
and Osiris, and Source. You deserve that,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa.
Okay. Great analogy. Thank you for that.
Mm.
Okay. And who am I speaking with still?
This is Osiris.
It's still Osiris? Okay, wonderful. Now, you did talk about the Mother Earth, and Drew had also mentioned to me yesterday that she is balanced. She is in balance, and so we don't need to really care for her because she cares for herself. Is that about right, or?
Yeah, she's totally self-contained, just like each and every one of you are.
Okay. So if she's self-contained and she's in balance, why are we having these violent, earthquake in Alaska? I mean, and tsunamis and forest fires. Well, the forest fires are human-caused. But, what's going on? Why are we having these major, major disasters?
Who put the definition of these things as disasters?
Okay, so if they're gifts, they're teaching humans how to work together.
Every single person in the collective will experience in their own way. So they will see them for whatever it is that resonates with their heart.
Huh.
If they see it at the end of the world, that means the world's ending.
Huh.
If they see it as a cleansing, which it is,
Okay.
if they see it as a cleansing, it'll be a cleansing. If they see it as a cleansing for a brighter future, it'll be a cleansing for a brighter future. But if they see it as hell's fiery gates is open and humanity is going to die, and in their reality, they will experience what they manifest.
Okay. Okay.
Understand that everything that we see, touch, feel, hear, all is all a manifestation. It's of an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
So, subconsciously or consciously, the collective has decided that this is going to have to happen. So we oblige.
Huh. Free will's a bitch.
In a sense.
Okay. All right. So I have also understood or have heard that there's a total axis of the Earth, that the shift is happening. Again, is that part of what we're manifesting?
Yes, the shift has already happened. The Earth is already in fourth dimensional space. But she is compassionate. She has that full understanding of oneness. She's never experienced the ego self, so she's always remained in a higher consciousness. but she changes her landscape to suit the collective that's inhabiting at this moment. So a third dimensional collective of humanity, she obliges with the scenery at this time. But just like in any lesson in duality, she's also on her own storyline, not the timeline, but she's on her own storyline.
Okay.
So she was instructed from Source, Master of all Masters, our Father. That's time for the evolution to take place. So she had to change her frequency, and in turn, it changes our frequency.
You're right.
So we're following behind her. When our egos are telling us we need to protect her to help out humanity, when if they let go of their ego and went inside themselves, humanity would be moving forward a lot quicker.
Huh. Okay. So just Wednesday, I did a Project Love where whoever's watching, we do our 5 minutes of sending love, and we sent the love, well, we did before our cameras crashed, which was for a reason, I'm sure, that we were sending the love to Mother Earth. But by sending that love, we're saying she needs help.
No, you're showing gratitude.
Okay.
So the water, there's so many things that your manifestation subconsciously has designed and said that's actually holding you back. Save Mother Earth. Save Mother Earth, that's a slogan that's been around for a long time.
Okay.
If you go back in our conversation from earlier, when I said everything that you perceive is actually a reflection of yourself. So when you're saying save Mother Earth, you don't want to take care of saving Rhonda. So you're saying save Mother Earth.
Huh.
It is no different than a reflection of two people having a conversation.
Gotcha. So instead of stating those words, it's more of, let's just send
show
love.
Gratitude and love, yes.
Gotcha.
It is the cosmic power that there is nothing that can control love if you fully embrace it.
Okay.
There's nothing that will hold you back from experiencing your own magic in your third dimensional space.
Okay.
So I say to you now, if you want to experience magic in your third dimensional space, which time is running out, it is time to understand it and do it. Because the experience that you will have will be a little diluted soon, because you will be of a different understanding.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So now's the time to play.
Okay.
Now is the time to play. Now is the time to enjoy. And this is the lesson for every now moment. Now is the time to play and enjoy.
Okay. And I'm not sure if you're referring to what may or will be taking place on June 21st?
June 21st, there will be an event.
Right. Is there anything you can help or be able to...
It's the only thing I can divulge at this time. Just know that June 21st will be an event.
Okay. Should we... And we should look at it as a gift of unity, of coming together, of the multitudes of whatever's going to happen. So...
you answered the question yourself from your own heart space.
Mm.
So what you just spoke of what we need to look at and how we need to look at it. Yes, everything does happen. It's all love. So this is exactly how we need to look at it.
Okay.
And then it will be that. It will be what it is. Anything other than love, if you make it, say for example, an alien invasion. Alien invasion. It strikes fear in the heart of most, but for the 10,000, 15,000 souls that are at this event, it sparks an eyebrow. And many others.
Right.
If you're listening to this right now, chances are you're one of them that sparks an eyebrow. But there might be a little bit of fear. But understand that fear does not exist. that fear does not exist in the energetic field. In all actuality, it only exists in the third dimensional space, and it is a specific manifestation for the mind that has that fear. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay. So the event that will be, whatever that is, we will be honoring it with love and gratitude.
Yes, anything that you experience that you're in fear of, or maybe coming across as anything else, understand there's other people that know our technology as well, and they use that against us and against humanity for their own purposes, their own self-absorbed purposes, and we honor that, because without that Lucifer consciousness, we would not be able to see the Christ consciousness.
Right. Because of this date that will be coming in our lifetime, are healers still being born and coming to this planet? I mean, will the healers still come after this date?
The healer is within sight of each and every one of you. So it coming to light is you understanding that's there.
Right.
So there's no coming or going. It's all here.
I see.
It's all just covered up with your manifestation.
Okay. I had understood that there was a call that went out to all of the universes and galaxies for healers to come to the Earth.
There was no call because there was no separation. The separation is part of the illusion as well. So there really was no call. There was just a knowing.
I see.
The Ascended Masters and the consciousness that wanted to take part in this event came. And they're here.
I see.
They've always been here. They just, now they're showing themselves.
So Jesus is here in flesh, and Gandhi and those masters.
They never left.
They never left. Okay. So, kind of an interesting question. So, our governments of present time, when will they be a thing of the past?
At the perfect time.
Oh, gosh. All right. Thank you. I should have expected that one, right? All right.
There's dead ends all over this conversation, and I just turn you around and point you back to the main road.
Thank you. Well, for those of us who don't know and who are listening to this for the first time, yeah, I'm just trying to get more information out to them so they can understand it as well. That's all. Okay. I do understand we can recharge with just the sun.
Yes.
And
So,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
let me explain this. You're a part of everything. You yourself, Rhonda, has worked with QHHT, so you understand the understanding of we have lived as plants, animals, so many lifetimes we can't even remember them all, or we don't even have time to go through them all. It may have been a time of a cell inside of a body, or it may be a ruler in Egypt that we had lifetimes of, but we had several of them. We've had all of them. So we had lifetimes of plants. So if we're going through evolution of moving to a higher density, what's happening, these other dimensional spaces are collapsing. So we're starting to have memories of healers. We're having memories of maybe even Jesus Christ. Or have memories of those lifetimes. But we also have memories of being a dandelion, or a peyote button, or a piece of grass. So as these memories as these dimensional spaces start collapsing in our third dimensional space, all the dimensional spaces that were opened up in the third dimensional space, once they are closing up right now, so we can go into fourth dimensional space. And once we go into fourth dimensional space, then you'll be able to manifest a whole another set of dimensions, but from a fourth dimensional space.
Right.
So your third dimension is closing with many, many, many different dimensions that your soul space is operating at this time. So it's collapsing into one, so humanity can go through the ascension. Then they can open up other dimensional spaces. Each soul space can open up several, whatever they choose to be in all these different dimensional spaces.
Okay.
So if my lifetime as a plant is coming back in, what do you think memories are coming back to me? Memories of how I process the sun and use it as energy. You see a blade of grass drilling out every Saturday?
Not lately.
No, they received energy from the sun. So these memories of our other dimensional spaces, our little lifetimes, if you will, that we're in, are coming back into our memory field and converging into one being that's closing all its dimensional spaces in the third dimensional space, all the other separate dimensions that the particle is operating in to have experiences. It's closing up to go into fourth dimensional space, and then it can make a whole nother set.
That's that'll be the next time we do this, when we're in the fourth dimension, right?
Yes.
Wonderful.
That's when it gets interesting, because we're manifesting other dimensional spaces from a higher consciousness. Instead of a third dimensional consciousness, we're manifesting dimensional spaces. We'll be manifesting dimensional spaces from a fourth dimension consciousness. So there'll be more, dimensional spaces will be more interesting.
Very. Okay, that is very interesting.
This is where your higher collectives come from. Your higher collectives, your Palladian collectives of high densities, 11th, 12th, 13th, whatever you want, how you want to go with it on a number scale that's designed. The point where physical body's not there anymore, and it's a collective of separateness, but understanding of oneness, but there's no physical self, it's just a ball of energy. These are dimensional spaces that start opening up on down the road on this loop of storyline that we're on.
Okay. So getting back to the recharging by the sun. So if we're recharged by the sun, and we are, watching our skin, and we put lotions on, isn't that kind of counterproductive? But how do we keep recharging from the sun, and we know it's bad for our skin?
Trust and surrender.
Okay. So by doing so...
Understand the solar flashes coming in your humanity's time space.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I just wanted to go over a thought. So every thought or speak or deed that I consider that an option, whatever it is, each one of these creates me in its own universe.
Correct.
Right. Okay. And each of these universes surround us, so there's more Earth-like universes, because in different dimensions.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. I think I've been wanting to ask that for a long, long time, so thank you for that. Okay. Let's see.
Every moment you have an interaction with another particle of source. Understand that interaction is going on in another dimensional space, but the character titles are different. Same soul spaces are operating in it, but they're playing a different character in that particular play. Same play, different dimensional space, different, same source, same soul space energy operates each of the particles, but there's a different title to who's playing what in that storyline.
Right. Okay.
So for instance, there is 6 of us here at the moment, all together. In another dimensional space, we're doing the same thing, but we're all sitting in different seats.
Okay.
Because Source wants to have the experience from all viewpoints, all understandings.
Ah.
So he's not gonna, it would be counterproductive to say, okay, we're gonna go through this experience here, and this is the only set of ways that we're gonna go through this experience. No, we're gonna go through it 6 different ways, and we've all decided this when we set the soul contract for this time that we're setting here right now.
Right.
And the 10, 100, 1,000, 15 billion people that watch these videos, we've all decided that too. So it could be 6 variations, but hopefully, you know, it's a experience that has no boundaries, and it spreads. This one video.
And it will.
It will.
Absolutely.
So we have all decided now that the people that are taking part in this video will. We manifest it will.
And it will.
It is.
Wonderful. So I want to take another quick break. Can we look at this camera and just make sure the cameras are all running still?
I would like to say my blessings for the day.
Thank you so very much.
And honor my host for his time.
Thank you so very much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for your work. Blessings. This is Osiris. And speaking for the collective of all collectives, we honor you and love each and every one of you. We are here to help. We understand that the lessons right now are hard and fast, and they're coming at an exponential rate. But understand we are here, we love you, and we are supportive of you. And you can do no wrong. You are perfect, so am I, and so is everything. There is no other. There is no other way. Blessings and good day.
Thank you so much.